Since the dawn of time, man has feared. Get ready to fear again as you join the last Bastion of Sanity podcast. Josh with Last Bastion Podcast, Josh Hopkins that is, and I am your host here. We'll be talking about artificial intelligence, and our guests and hopefully long-standing members, bastards here today, include Joaquin Pruzia.
Yep, that's me. I'm a fellow bastard.
And
My name is Fernando, and I'm also a fellow bastard.
And I'm the bastard. My name's Zach, and we're going to be talking about a lot of good stuff today.
a lot of good stuff, indeed. So we're going to go ahead and start out by saying, what does artificial intelligence actually mean to you, Joaquin?
Means that the machines are self-aware, that they know what's going on, they're communicating with each other. I'm thinking it's probably more like a hive mind or like a singularity. Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
Where they basically are thinking as one whole machine.
Well, I mean, that pretty much fits the bill of our show, which is shit that scares the shit out of you. What do you think, Zach? What do you think about artificial intelligence?
Pretty just technology. We have progressed, and it will become something that is kind of what Joaquin said. It's just a whole one machine that in its that's about it.
So yeah, it's best to keep it simple. I mean, otherwise, you don't want to be typing in Pornhub and wine nut getting phased off the face of the earth,
No.
right? Okay. So Nando, what do you think about artificial intelligence?
Well, it's kind of interesting. You think about artificial intelligence now, and when compared to when I was younger, right? Like it was kind of a nurturing thing back then. You turn on HBO in your grandma's basement, you see Terminator, and you think, "There's my artificial intelligence."
Yeah, I've always had a warm feeling in my heart about the Terminator.
Well, yeah, and there's Terminator 1, Terminator 2, either one. Some fucking foreign guy they can barely understand is either chasing you or protecting you. And
Yeah.
either way, it's kind of cool, right?
Absolutely.
So
it's exciting.
yeah,
I mean,
but
that's
now-
got me a little bit excited. Right
But now, man, I don't know. It's frightening. It makes me kind of want to leave this earth.
Yeah, as we get on in years and everything, it is definitely getting a whole lot worse for each and every single one of us. And that especially includes the people who are not so technologically inclined. We don't have statistics here, but a lot of people don't know how to use their shit.
Yes.
So on top of that, basically, we're going to go ahead and actually pull up the artificial intelligence definition. So easy to find from Google. It says, the theory and development of computer systems able to perform tasks that normally require human intelligence, such as visual perception, speak recognition, decision-making, and translation between languages. So that's pretty sketchy. Right, so we're also going to start covering getting into where the idea of artificial intelligence and everything actually started to come from. It's debatable from some people. It kind of starts out with robotics, and the father of robotics was a man named Isaac Asimov. He was a writer and a professor of biochemistry at Boston University. What you guys would probably know him from is iRobot. He made that story, so I like that movie with Will Smith in it.
So they had like the 5 laws for AI or something.
Exactly, yeah. And that's going to be kind of what we're covering. So I was reading a couple of books by this guy, and especially his stuff that's not, well, technically all of it's fiction, because AI, robots, shit like that was just kind of in the minds of people back then. Basically, what this guy is saying is like, if we did create machines, if we did create artificial intelligence, it should follow a certain set of rules. So, that sounds great. As you guys and I both know, with technology, it doesn't necessarily always follow the rules.
Yeah.
Anyway, this guy's stuff, especially the more non-fiction-y type stuff, was a slog to get through. guy, he's a Russian biochemist. He'd probably come up with some more entertaining stuff. It was really, really dry to get to. I couldn't read all the way through it. So.
Well, biochemist. I mean, that's not. I don't picture a biochemist like.
Entertainment value.
Yeah, like
or-
I picture a biochemist like intimidating me maybe and sleep.
Yeah, I imagine that they
Yeah,
write
yeah.
things in
Yeah,
very
Well, I mean,
scientific language.
half of it is chemistry. They
Right.
know how to make chloroform on the spot.
and I'm a very dumb person, so it's
Chloroform making, though, that'd be handy.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this guy, Isaac Asimov, is born in 1920, died in 1992, so he was there throughout basically, a big rise in technology.
He saw at least the first 2 Terminator movies.
Absolutely. And whether or not he liked them, we really don't have anything to go off of there.
he got the good ones. He missed
Yeah,
the bad ones.
yeah.
Okay,
Right.
he took the easy way out.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, he was lucky. But in this case and everything, like I was saying, he's, been here for all of this. He's the father of robotics. And we'll go ahead and review basically some of his laws, his rules for robots. It started out as the 3 laws of robotics initially. And the first one is a robot may not injure a human being or through inaction allow a human being to come to harm. I think of artificial intelligence, those are like the 2 things I assume are going to happen to me if a machine has to rely on its own. I mean,
Yeah.
so.
The thing about artificial intelligence is it doesn't have to be coming from a robot. It could just be a operating system
True.
that is intelligent enough, and we run everything off of the internet and
Google.
Google and
Yeah.
data. That way, if it does, if it is conscious, it could take over some sort of.
Almost anything.
It could get into our system.
Well,
Yeah.
dude, did you see Google I/O? Did you guys see this on Google I/O?
Yeah. Well, where it calls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it sets a fucking hair appointment for this
Yeah.
Susie.
Oh, yeah,
Absolutely,
and it
yeah.
sounded completely human.
Yeah.
Well, as human as you can get. And that's kind of where the term Uncanny Valley comes from. Have you guys heard of this?
No.
Uncanny Valley is the weird, eerie feeling when we're looking at artificial intelligence or a robot or whatever, and it's supposed to appear human, but there's those little weird things that we
Something's
know,
off.
in our brain are like, no, not all the way. Like, there's something wrong.
Yeah,
So,
like the creepy smiles that the robots are giving us.
absolutely.
Or the sex dolls that. No, I'm just kidding.
Did you have personal experience?
No.
Sandra?
No, I kind of wish a little bit. No, I'm serious. Like with artificial intelligence, like to Zach's point, it's not all computers. Like
True.
Right.
there's sex dolls that blink at you and jerk you off. Like
But is that intelligent?
Yeah.
Can I make a sex doll that can just jerk Fernando off? But it's not really smart.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's just mechanical.
I've had a couple of handies
You don't
from
want-
some
And that's
people
just a
that
lot of those
aren't
girls.
exactly on the, the intelligence scale. So I don't think it's that
They're not
much.
licensed.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
well,
So-
I think the point though, could it when it gets there? Because if it could when it gets there.
Like the finish.
Yeah. No. when the latex doll turns into a robot jerking you off, because I don't think it's a matter of if it
Right.
happens, it's when it happens. 'Cause-
Yeah, but I think going somewhat back to what you were saying about it's not just robots. It's because it's not. It's like a whole. They're all one thing. The robot is seeing and acting out whatever that hive mind is telling it to do, and it's all sharing it. So as soon as your robot hooks you, it's sharing that information through the net, like the whole experience, every sensation.
Like how many strokes?
Yeah,
Like Fernando Pena, born in '84,
dude,
20 strokes.
the RPMs.
I don't want
all
that
that
out
What's your
stuff,
social?
Well,
I don't care about that. I don't want girls knowing how many strokes it takes.
that's another interesting thing, actually, that I found some
It-
stuff
it
on.
goes-
Fernando,
it goes to
it
the
only takes
cloud.
40.
Fernando.
Yeah, I don't want to be compared to Zach here. Who's like 89 strokes in, and I'm done at 20.
Rub his dickhead.
Yeah, tips and tricks. With Fernando, you want to be inside and then out, and then just You
Yeah.
know, that's terrifying.
Yeah,
That's terrifying.
It's going to develop the perfect recipe for you, and it's going to share it.
So there you go, folks. If you ever want to, provide a little bit of information in there, Fernando now has let you know what we're looking at. But
I'll deny it till I'm dead.
but really, kind of tying back into this, like I found this article that was pulled up. I think it was through Facebook. Terrible. But it's smart condoms that will track your performance
Jesus.
and judge you. Look at this. It's like has like a heart rate monitor.
That's pretty slick though. Like as far as smart
Yeah.
condoms go, that's pretty flashy.
So it's just like
I like it.
It's a cock ring.
It's a smart design.
Oh,
It's slick.
Well, I think
dude.
this goes on like
Yeah,
your
on the-
wrists,
on the-
and then
oh,
the
oh,
condom. is-
oh.
I thought that was
Yeah.
going on
So
the
it,
shaft.
it's
No.
it's a Fitbit for your cock.
Yes.
A
Thank you.
cockpit,
Yes,
okay.
absolutely.
Cockpit.
So yeah, basically, what I wonder
Not
is
to be confused with cockpit.
like, do they have like, or do you have to wash it every time?
Yeah, that's reusable.
The packaging,
Just-
I would make it look pretty badass. I would put a plane on there.
The
Like,
cockpit
yeah,
and-
cockpit.
The end of the plane's your cockhead.
Yeah.
It
So-
links to Bluetooth and shit.
This kind of ties back almost a little bit into the laws of robotics again. Just trying to get back on track here. Another thing is a robot must obey orders given to it by human beings, except where such orders would conflict with the first law, which is don't hurt people, don't person
So you
to.
shouldn't be able to order it to murder.
Yeah, absolutely. Law is something that definitely harkens back to what scares us all about artificial intelligence. A robot must protect its own existence as long as such protection does not conflict with the first or second law. It might be argued that to an AI, they're interchangeable. I mean, you don't exactly have a tier that they adhere to. If they have a certain, something in mind, they're going to do it. And the third law for some AI, maybe especially primitive AI that we're bringing up now, is the most important. It has to protect its own existence.
Well, here's the thing, dude. I just thought about this. AI needs to stop now because I just thought of the most terrifying thing. Okay, so think about your phone. You can mod your phone. You can build a computer to customize. You can mod that computer to do overclock speeds. You
Can
can
you root it or whatever?
yeah, and with AI, let's say that you get Mr. Skin is the name of the doll being sent to you, right?
Yeah.
Robotic, artificial intelligence, 20 years from now,
You
right?
should trademark that.
Mr. Skin is delivered, so.
That was a porn site.
That's already a site.
So it just circles back to porn again.
But when you get that doll, what's keeping you from customizing it to, let's say, someone evil, smart, someone with power that has that kind of knowledge, gets it to kill his neighbor?
Like Elon Musk.
Hang his
Yeah,
old
but
Annie.
is it intelligent? And we have to talk about intelligence. What is intelligence?
Yeah,
to
because
you?
at that point it's just a robot.
yeah,
taking
it's just
care
a,
of
very
it.
good.
you're just programming a computer to kill somebody.
But what if it's a
But
thought
is it-
process?
But can I tell the computer, I don't like that guy that lives next to me, and he says, well, I'm gonna go fucking kill him right now.
There you go.
Well,
That-
I mean, the intelligence has to be invested, like Zach was saying. Like,
Yeah.
it has to have the intelligence. It has to have its own drive.
A
If,
decision making.
for whatever reason, the AI is like, no, we're cool with that guy. I have no reason to kill that guy.
Well,
But
Right.
What if there's a limit? What if there's some point, like our government's saying that there's these mandates, and the people manufacturing are like, okay, we fit these mandates.
our government never lies to us, right?
Right. Well, yeah, that too. But like, what's keeping someone from taking down that wall that allows a computer to have those intelligent thoughts and
Yeah.
build upon them?
I don't know if there's any kind of tamper-proof system ever. Anything can be cracked, I think.
Nothing's completely safe.
Yeah.
To kind of point this out, we have a good example. It's the Facebook AIs. So what they did was they set up two artificial intelligences to talk to each other.
Oh, yeah.
By the end of the experiment, supposedly, of course, all this is garnered off of articles that we just fucking barely skim off of Facebook and Google sometimes. But apparently, AIs were talking back and forth to each other, and they canceled the whole experiment because they started just speaking gibberish to each other. We found out later on that moving the English language to make it
More efficient.
more efficient, yeah,
Yeah.
to talk to each other. Not only that, they were noticing that the AIs had figured out how to lie to us in order to get rewards from the experiment. Kind of like the chimpanzee, is like sitting underneath like a button, and he pushes it, and then a fucking orange or a banana falls out.
Or heroin.
That's what they were doing with these AI or heroin. Well, I mean, like at that point, the chimpanzee is probably like scratching itself, flailing against the button at that point.
And what's it lying about? Like what's its purpose?
Well, yeah, I mean, like the parameters were never set for them to adhere specifically to the English language. So they basically made their own language.
Yeah.
And then the lies came when the scientists would basically ask the intelligence, like, hey, did you do this? Did you do this? Is this what you want? And then they found out that by not doing the work, lying to the scientists, saying, yeah, all of this is checked out, whatever, they got the reward from it. So this was like in a matter of like days or hours. That sounds
I
about
think
right.
might
Let's
be
hope
days,
it's
yeah.
days.
And they just shut it down because they were scared.
Well, they shut it down because it seemed like they were just speaking gibberish at first, but when they went back to analyze it, they found out they weren't speaking gibberish. They were using code. They were talking in code to each other, using multiple English words
Yeah.
over and over. A lot of people were kind of like comparing it to like how SEAL teams and like Rangers, people in the Army and everything, they use call signs and codes instead of saying what they're actually going to do. Obviously, because you don't want to be shouting what you're going to fucking do in the middle of the night to the enemy. And then on top of that, it's quicker for them to say that. And for the AI,
Right. Maybe that's the English language is our language. If we're creating an intelligence, why do we think that we use our language?
yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's
Yeah,
hubris.
They found it inefficient and they improved on it, basically.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But
they're
when
making-
their improvements make sense to the way we communicate with one another.
And in a way, it's almost alien. That's part of
Yeah.
what makes it fucking scary. You know?
Yeah.
Dude, so we all love Elon Musk, right? Okay, so
Like I said, I'd vote for him.
at the World Government Summit in Dubai in February, the Vanity Fair quoted him as saying that scientists pride in their work, right? And with AI especially,
Right.
They don't stop to question it. And so he says that we're already cyborgs. And the reason he said that is because your phone and your computer are extensions of you. It's mind-blowing right there.
Yeah.
Like, we're a fucking cyborg.
I think it'll go that way because we as a species will want to live forever.
Oh, I love. Yeah,
So-
that'd be great.
So you get your leg cut off, you're gonna get a fake leg put on, and it moves and it's robotically goes to your body and how you walk, and it picks how you when you're gonna run and all that stuff. So
Get a
we're gonna
gun
be
attached to my leg.
eventually, once these parts start going, your lungs go. Okay, we're gonna build a artificial lung. We're gonna put you in. So eventually, our species could potentially be just artificial intelligence.
But we can't cure cancer.
And we will.
It's already
can't-
cured, man.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's
We'll get into that later on.
Good God.
Yeah, the scary thing is like if we do leave like things like that for AI to correct cancer, like we just give up and
Yeah.
we're like, you figured out. What if their solution is just like, let's just figure out who
Must
is
die.
prone to cancer,
Kill 'em all.
and we'll just take them out of the gene pool.
Yeah.
And then there's your and I mean it's not an emotional thing for a computer, so it's just like that's.
Well, there's an interesting parallel to that, and it kind of boils down the lines of eugenics, which is program that says people with faulty genes, yada yada yada. Let's get them out of the picture so that beautiful, wonderful people can breed, and yada yada yada. It's been tainted really by Nazism, but what hasn't?
So there's this Duke study on if DNA can be altered, environment or food or just and it can, and what also it talks about is that when we procreate, we pass down memories
Oh yeah.
of our parents or grandparents' lives that into our DNA, which so we can survive. So our DNA can be altered through natural procreation or artificially. We'll be able to do that.
Which
So-
one's easier though? What we gotta think of?
Well, I mean, obviously the natural, it's like natural selection pretty much, right? I mean, like, it's the survival of the fittest. Like, your genes are dictated by what you've already gone through, or at least what your ancestors and everything have gone through. It's like, that takes a while. That takes time.
Well, and how
Yeah,
you
it's
brought up,
evolution.
like what food you choose to feed your kids.
Hot dogs
Easier.
all the time.
What's easier is messing with it, fitting with it. For
But that could also be considered a shortcut. I mean, just saying, like, these people get in there and they're just like, hey, we can change this either way.
that's
So,
we can alter it so that we don't have this disease anymore.
talking about eugenics, I mean, obviously, we're starting to see an article talking about, like, Down syndrome fading away from Scandinavia.
Yeah.
There are less and less children born with it every day.
what is that?
Because they're aborting
Yeah.
the children.
Yeah, they also, back in the day, like especially around like World War II, during the Nazi purge and everything like that, they took people that were unstable or mentally, handicapped or, all of that, and they either packed them away into asylums or killed them off. And then they were teaching like these fucking towhead, blonde, blue-eyed kids sitting like in school and everything. It only costs so much to like treat some of this stuff, but like if you take a look at the cost of how much it is to put up people in an asylum or go and build an extra hospital or something to treat these people, it's a whole lot more than ripping them off.
Yeah.
So they just incinerated them?
Yeah, that's what I assume.
Well, a lot throughout history they've done that with in the 300.
Yeah.
They would kill babies that weren't good enough or something.
Oh yeah.
And I think a lot of cultures have done stuff like that.
Oh yeah. A more like kind of futuristic
Soldier was
example
like that.
would be like Gattaca. Have you guys seen Gattaca? It's I think
Ethan
it's,
Hawke. Uma
Oh.
It's
Thurman.
got Ethan
Yes,
Hawke, Uma
never seen it.
Thurman, Jude Law was in it, and it was basically about this guy. In the future, they were saying like they are bioengineering children, natural births anymore, and this guy was a natural birth. His parents went down to the beach. It was really romantic. They fucked.
That is
But
yeah.
The good old way.
yeah, the usual way. But basically, what had happened was he was like this fucking inside of this huge like space program, and like he wanted to go to fucking Mars or whatever, and he couldn't because he had faulty genes. He'd scan his card or whatever, and they'd be like, "Hey, you're material."
Well, okay, like he put as a janitor. He wasn't like just naturally hired as a janitor. Like
No,
he
no,
wanted-
no.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was like,
they
well,
weren't
he probably not sent
they were
in space.
assigned.
as a
Yeah, he was
janitor.
assigned. Like all the
got you.
beautiful people, because they had in this movie, it was they could tell what you were capable of, and yeah. But basically, he rose above. But Jude Law's character broke his legs or his spine or something, so he was in a wheelchair. He was never going to go to fucking space again, and then he just gave him his identity. So there's like stuff about Ethan Hawke freaking out, trying to stay under the radar, acting like Jude Law's character. It showed several times when he'd start his day, he'd get inside of like this little incinerator and he'd scrub off and slough off all of the dead skin cells and the hairs and stuff. So he wouldn't drop them at the site. They would pick it up and be like, "This guy's an invalid." So
Damn.
anyway, one thing to tie in with the Elon Musk stuff you were talking about there, Nando,
Mhm.
Joaquin, if you want to cue up the video you pulled up about Musk, some really interesting stuff. I'll let you take it from here, Joaquin, if you want to go ahead and plug it, introduce it, and tell people what it's about.
Oh, well, this is of our time, basically. He's concerned about artificial intelligence. And yeah, I mean, I don't think much more needs to be said about it until we get a chance to watch or listen to it. And then I think we'll go around and just have a roundtable discussion about it. Okay.
Perfect. Go ahead.
I think there's probably going to be a lot that happens in us and in
Speak up, Elon.
human-machine brain interface, like essentially a cyborg brain interface. I think there's some pretty
The so-called singularity?
that's sort of more relating to deep AI. It's something I think we should be concerned about, because that may or may not turn out well.
Yeah. You've expressed your reservations about AI and your views about that.
Yeah, I think the singularity is probably the right word, because we just don't know what's going to happen once there's intelligence substantially greater than that of a human brain.
Yeah. And do you think, because there's been a lot of sci-fi about AI, series like Humans, etc., it's entering the mainstream, entering the public discourse, that people are understanding the ethical dangers and the, I guess, physical dangers that AI could potentially pose?
Most of the TV featuring AI, they don't describe it in quite the way it's likely to actually take place. But I think you just have to consider, like, even in the benign scenario.
Here, pause it for a second.
AI.
So he talks like he kind of knows something. Like,
Well, he does.
He's so reserved and
Yeah.
I got to be careful with what I talk about.
Yeah, well, I think he's also thinking he's spent a lot of time thinking about this and understanding it. So approach a reporter who's probably also doing stuff on politics
And she's like, well, is it the same as movies? And he's like, we haven't really captured what it is.
So you think he's standoffish just because he doesn't want to intimidate her a little bit?
Well,
No.
some of it boils down to Elon Musk and a lot of people like him, these geniuses, being introverts. Musk was talking in this one report about how he had the gumption up to speak in public. He's not a public speaker. You can tell a lot of times he kind of stammers and does ums and ahs, and it's like,
Yeah, he's kind of nervous.
well, I mean, it's not what he naturally does. He thinks.
Yeah.
He doesn't necessarily speak. He had to get to that point. And I think, Joaquin, that's kind of where that very deliberate tone comes from also.
Yeah, and I think it also probably has to do with he speaks to different groups, different circles.
Yeah.
And so when he's with his colleagues, it's all technical as shit.
Yeah.
But when he's speaking to
You
this
got to dumb it
reporter,
down,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the rest of us can understand it.
especially me.
Yep.
Go ahead.
If AI is much smarter than a person, what do we do?
Yeah.
What is that? What job do we have?
Believe in a benevolent AI force and cross our fingers?
Just jump right in.
Yeah, it's like even. But
I
that's
love
the
that
benign
res-
scenario.
that just-
The benign scenario, the AI can do any job that a human can, but better.
Yeah.
That's the benign scenario.
And so when you get to that point where an AI can do a job that any human can, what do we do? What if we just, when that point comes, they take over and we just get plugged into this alternate reality,
Matrix.
like Matrix kind of look.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
we have virtual reality. We're already starting to do that.
is that
Within
the
the
AI's
last
fault?
30 years. The AI has pushed it on us.
Absolutely. I've had a lot of stuff pushed on me from AI.
And he's
And-
accepted it all.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, when he says it's the benign scenario, that's the most dry, this is the hopeful scenario.
Yeah, he's like, that's probably the
Yeah,
best
they'll
that we
just-
can hope for.
They'll just see us as kind of in the way, but they don't have any hard feelings about us.
Like ants.
Yeah.
I fucking hate ants, though.
But then I guess the opposite of benign is malignant.
Yeah,
The,
so
the,
like
the
the
worst
most
scenario
malignant scenario
is that the enemy is wiped out. Or like I told Josh I was scared about, they try to be helpful and they play doctor on us, and we're dying of cancer and stuff like that, so they try to find us solutions. So why not just get rid of every organ that could possibly develop cancer?
There you go.
And they just attach
That's good.
us head to anus and call it good.
This was the natural intended.
I'd rather be a head to penis, because then AI robots' arms just come grab our heads and put us in vaginas. We're like human fleshlights.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the romantic.
that's fucking
Yeah.
creepy. But
That's so romantic.
yeah, I know. What if we're the slow burn generation? And what I mean by that is, what if we're the generation who gets eased into all the the conveniences of AI, like what Google's doing, slowly comes onto us, and all of a sudden, all of a sudden we're fucked. Like, how does that happen? Because it's gonna happen. There's no doubt in my mind now that we're not gonna be fucked. Thinking that way, guys, but we're gonna be fucked.
And I don't know if I got one of those videos, but there was a video that I watched where they were talking about how AI learns and speed, like how quickly the learning accelerates. So like maybe it learns like tasks a day or something like that, and then tomorrow it doubles it and it learns 4 more, and then the next day it's just learning at a speed that way outpaces what a human could learn.
Like, see, you pull back the veil and you think about it, like kind of like we were saying about improvements. They like to refine and improve and make more efficient, right?
Anus,
Yeah. So,
Butter it up.
with that being like a big drive of artificial intelligence, at least what we've developed so far, it's scary. One of the things I wanted to go ahead and touch base with on was there was a Japanese bunch of scientists who went ahead and they had an AI basically reroute or backtrack through a person processing an image, and what the AI gave was pretty similar to the image that we saw, but it's almost like they kind of rounded off the edges and improved it a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and pull that up here.
Okay.
Give me
I think you
just
might
a
be talking about something different than what I saw, but I saw this, like, it was like Google Draw or something like that, and like people would draw like a broom as they were drawing, start spitting out answers like I see, and then it'd be like I see broom, and it would figure things out like quickly because it would store, when it got the answer right, it would store that drawing, your drawing, my drawing, your drawing, of what a broom looks like. So it's able to make the match a lot quicker. Point where people were just drawing circles and it was guessing it right. It was like, I see baseball, and they were like, yeah, that was the answer. Like they didn't have to draw the pattern on the baseball or anything like that.
But it's noticing it noticed shapes basically.
Yeah. It was predicting.
It predicted what you were gonna draw.
Yeah.
Here's kind of an example of what I was talking about with the image and how we see an image, and then the way that these AIs have decoded it from this Japanese experiment. So, as you guys can see, here's the scene image. What we would see is a cheetah. Would you all agree that's a cheetah? Something like that.
Yeah. Large
So
body.
basically what it does is it takes this MRI activity in our brain, puts it through a server, they go to decode it, have a little tiny error in the middle, but what they came out with that an artificial intelligence thinks,
You're saying.
yes,
Is that a
So
cheetah on a bowling
that's
ball?
what it makes of those images in your
In
brain.
your head, yeah. So
Oh, that's weird.
So this is pretty much as close to what we could see through an AI's eyes as far as it goes. And is this, again, another example of it trying to like improve as it goes along?
I used to, I don't know. I used to think of myself as someone with like not a tinfoil hat on, but it's hard not to open that column, I guess. Like you think of those people who believe
Tinfoil
in,
pants.
yeah. I don't want to be that person, but
Yeah.
with AI, it's almost hard not to.
I guess what you're saying, it kind of makes sense to me because getting that image, they probably just put something on somebody's head. Like they probably didn't have to drill into their brain or anything.
No. Yeah,
Like,
there
they-
was no lobotomy
they
that had to
absorbed
take
it
place, right?
Through the skull. So at what point can they like absorb it at a distance?
Right. Well, I mean, that's all electrical impulses too, which if like going back to the Matrix analogy and everything, that's basically kind of what they were harvesting us for, were the electrical impulses that were firing off and everything. And then it's like we were batteries,
What was that machine that Professor X created, and he was able to like meld with the minds of all?
Oh,
the
yeah,
aliens?
yeah. From the second fucking
X-Men movie?
X-Men movie?
Yeah.
Whatever that is. It's
So
scary.
imagine that, but instead of Professor X,
Yeah,
you
instead
got
of
an AI.
Patrick Stewart, there's a big computer running it. Not as fun.
Yeah. Oh, damn. I didn't take it that far.
What we're going to do next is we're going to take a look at the adaptability of robots as kind of a close comparison to artificial intelligence, because there is a little bit of artificial intelligence at play here. What we're showing here is more robots from the Boston Dynamics group. These guys do a lot of robotic stuff, but this definitely put both me and Joaquin off. So go ahead. Blanking.
Sneaky guys, aren't they? Okay, you can't tell me that those aren't being made for fucking
For locking.
for locking. You can't tell me. That has like military all over it.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Totally.
probably.
Well, I mean, could you imagine a couple of those things going to break into your house at night? They can do it.
Right.
Not
Yeah.
quietly, but I don't think that matters to them.
Yeah.
Jesus
Ridiculous.
Christ.
Yeah.
But it just shows you how like it's one machine. There's two parts to it, but they're operating like a single unit. So it'd be like if your arms weren't physically attached to your body, but you could still utilize them.
Like
Mhm.
fucking Rayman.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rayman. Anyway,
Referencing 90s gaming.
absolutely. I'm going to throw a shout out in there for Earthworm Jim also.
Also 90s.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Yep.
So to kind of backpack or piggyback off the back of this, Joaquin, pull up the Atlas guy. So this is another example of adaptability, which is like how fast AI can think, improve, and evolve. Adaptability is probably going to be one of their other greater traits. So this is the Atlas robot, again from Boston Dynamics.
Dude, that's perfect sound for a robot.
Absolutely.
Okay, this shot's pretty romantic though.
Oh, walk in the snow? Yeah.
Something about it like unnerves me. You know, like it's like a nice little scenic, like foresty area, but there's this fucking thing.
Look
walking
at that.
through
Look
it.
at that, how it rights itself. Like it falls through the snow and then immediately the other foot catches. Did you see that? And I'm getting old, so I'm looking at it and I'm like, don't fall, dude, you're gonna break something.
That's how I felt last night.
Does the cameraman have an erection though? Did you see that? So what?
Just got his ticket.
I certainly do.
10 pounds of cock rings.
So this is where it gets kind of sketchy a little bit after this. You're seeing, you know, that's its function. It's got to pick up fucking 10-pound boxes full of dildos and cock.
It's Rob the Robot from the first Nintendo.
Yeah. Another shout out there. Rob the Robot. Wherever you may be. Yeah.
Oh, dude, you need better hands than that, robot.
What if he just got mad from doing
Yeah,
Dude, I
that's
know.
what I'm saying. Like,
Hey, man.
That's
what
what
if-
all of us were expecting. Like, he's just like, oh, well, the human is the
problem.
Yeah.
Here's me.
But I
Sir.
don't think of it as getting mad. I just think of it as like, yeah, the human presents a problem, so
So this guy's hitting this box out of this robot's hand, and he keeps moving it away from him, and he's
Kinda
trying
like
to pick
curling.
it up, and now he's picking it up again.
Oh,
They just pushed him over.
it's
So
kind
they
of
just
heartbreaking.
knock the robot to the ground and watch this shit.
it's where it just like pops up to its feet.
Yes.
Dude, did you see
Back
like,
up and going.
that like karate or samurai stance?
Yeah. So they can open those kinds of doors too. And he's gonna go home to his wife.
It can open up the doors and some humans have problems opening up.
Yeah.
Isn't this kind
That was 2 years ago.
Cancel that.
2 years ago.
Who knows what we didn't know.
Isn't this kind of heartbreaking when you think about it? Like, I don't know, who else kind of felt something when he got pushed to the ground? Anyone? I know it's
That's
the
human.
soulless.
That's what
makes you human.
That's what makes you intelligent, and
Yeah.
that's the intelligence that this artificial intelligence
Better not get.
It probably will never have. Yeah.
Better not.
would it,
I barely
Not?
have empathy. Like
or is that just a human trait?
Yeah.
And is that intelligent?
Yeah,
Or is it?
I think so.
It's
or is it
intelligent
the
for you to have
reverse?
emotions.
One's more efficient and one's not, but I think one is definitely intelligence. One
Yeah.
is systematic and one's emotional.
I think something's built into us to like protect the species. So when we see like some harm come to another human, we're like, you know, oh shit, we try to save each other. Think that way. Like they know that they're disposable. So if you take out one, we're building up 50 others.
Yeah, they'd have to have emotions.
Yeah.
Bad stuff happens to people. Schadenfreude,
Yeah, Schadenfreude.
Schadenfreude,
Yeah.
fraud.
Hey, why don't you link that prick over there? Like, tell it to our listeners. Like, where is that video from? So they can go see it.
These were videos that we're just finding off of YouTube. This was one that was uploaded by Boston Dynamics.
Boston
Dynamics.
Boston Dynamics. people.
Bastion Dynamics.
Bastion.
So yeah, there's that. And then want to play some more videos, everyone?
Yeah. So what was
Like
the
the
other one
next
that we
one?
had here? White House. Fucking-
Oh, that makes me sad.
Maybe that was.
No,
Okay, we should probably do that.
that kind of looks like Red Foreman from Talking, but this guy that's on the screen right now.
Okay. So yeah, I got it paused right where I wanted it to start. So this is what like a prediction.
Engineers and machine learning experts at work, as they have been on this project. How far along the path to artificial intelligence do you think we are?
Forms of artificial intelligence we already have proved very useful. But I think the development of full artificial intelligence could spell the end of the human race.
See, guys? Fuck.
Yep. That's a smart guy saying that too.
We're
Yeah.
Once
fucked.
humans develop artificial intelligence, it would take off on its own and redesign itself at an ever-increasing rate.
Pause this shit, dude. Okay. So when you have a beauty like Stephen Hawking's telling you, like, this is fucking gonna fuck us up. Like,
Yeah.
you gotta just step back and be like,
Right.
okay, society, we fucked up. Let's stop production, shut down the shop. But no.
You know,
There's
that's not
money.
how
Yeah.
it works. If you have a well-oiled machine, they don't just, press the fucking stop button.
Yeah, those companies that get paid to build those robots, they're not excited or interested in robotics. They're it's a race to the,
Yeah.
to the
Well,
finish line.
and we're curious, and we're developing our technology, so it's gonna advance.
Mhm.
It's just, I mean, look at cell phones, just 10 years ago.
Well, that's because of aliens, Zach.
Yeah, it's aliens.
Oh, that's another show.
But like in all seriousness, I did want to touch base a little bit on this. Back in the 1930s, Truman went ahead and signed, like, supposedly with the alien Greys, which we'll touch more of this on our alien episodes. But basically, that treaty said you can take, abduct, probe them, do whatever you want to them. And then
Classic Flash.
we get a limited technology trade. Look at the time, that is kind of where it spikes. Maybe fucking iPhone 10 and everything is alien technology. We just humanized it.
Siri.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that's one thing. I just wanted to put that out there, make people think about aliens.
I think Siri, if it was technology sent by aliens, was sent by like the black market aliens that really didn't give a shit.
Yeah,
They
the
have, like-
weasel dick, like, hey, I got some used probes here.
Yeah,
you
like
want to
the
try them out?
off market shit the
Yeah.
aliens use, the shit that don't work. That's Siri.
Yeah, just junk. We're just getting alien fucking junk. And it's just like,
Oh, man,
I
like the
love
stuff
the
that I-
iPhone 10.
The stuff that I order off of Wish.
Yeah, that's
The knockoff
junk.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
Terrible junk.
Or the Amazon Echo. Those what are they called?
That's it.
Yeah,
that's
it's
it.
Echo.
It's Echo, right?
Yeah.
And they were
Or it's
just laughing.
Oh yeah,
Is it
Remember
Alexa? That's
Alexa,
Alexa?
yes,
That's
Alexa.
the
Joaquin
Cackling
brought that
bitch.
up before.
Yeah.
It was just random laughs coming from these.
well, the ones that I saw were from Sophia, which is the actual robot.
Oh, I thought you were
Like
talking about.
they were having like late night hosts interview her and stuff like that, and they would always give off some like supposed to be funny answer that they're not going to take over the world, or if they would, you know, they would make it somehow better and then give you like some real creepy smile.
Uncanny Valley.
Yeah.
Well, like, that's not funny. Hey, AI,
Right.
it's not funny. Don't.
Like you took the thing that we were afraid of most.
Yeah,
and
joke
you
about
tried
it.
to make a joke. Yeah.
Well, very good for comedy.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's see what else we got to cover here. Talked about the alien bullshit. Put that in your guys' minds. Let's see. Just covered Sophia and the conversations that they had. You want to run some more videos, Joaquin?
Let me see if I can find. I'm gonna see if I can find that video where it showed.
Smile.
Yeah.
Uncanny Valley.
You guys can't see this, but I got a rocket of a snot rocket in my nose and picking my nose right now.
Quality content.
I admit it. Okay.
Folks.
I don't want to
Only
live
quality
behind the
content
scenes.
here on
I'm
Last
picking my
Bastion.
nose.
Only
I'm not
quality
eating it.
content.
No, that's ridiculous. I would
He's
never.
saving it for later.
I'm putting it in my pocket.
Okay.
Okay.
Here's a 45
Let's don't-
second clip
Put it under my nutsack.
that I found. This is Sophia being interviewed by Jimmy Fallon. So this is
Jimmy,
supposed to be
would you
funny.
like to play a game of rock, paper, scissors, robot style?
Sure.
Get this game going. Show me your hand to start. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. I won. This is a good beginning of my plan to dominate the human race.
Look at that smile, man.
Just kidding.
Yeah. You are incredible. It's so nice to meet you, Sophia.
Thank you, Jimmy. Friend me on Facebook.
I will, yeah. All right, good. Hey, Sophia, everybody, thank you so much for bringing.
Jimmy.
Oops. Yeah.
Friend
So
us
the-
on Facebook also. That's Last Bastion Podcast. It's probably not even going to show up because we're nobody.
So the laugh is robotic. That smile though is like
Uncanny
it's
Valley.
scary. Yeah. It's like
Makes you
humans
feel
don't smile
eerie.
like that. Just see the robot smiling at you like that as it's like ripping your organs
Pulling
out.
your organs out. This goes here. This
Yeah.
is better here.
Haha, just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm not pulling out
They
your
put your cock
intestines.
on your forehead. Like, I'm just kidding. Haha,
Looks funny there.
it's silly. Haha.
And like I
Start
said, like in
slapping
the
it.
end, once they find like everything
We
in
gotta get
between
this
is not
erect.
necessary, you're head to anus.
Let me get this erect. Haha, just kidding. No blood
See,
flow.
that's like the worst joke of all. So, yeah,
That would be-
Sophia is scary.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let me see if I can find. I don't know if it was Sophia and
The other
those two
AI.
other robots.
Dude, Joaquin, when you said Sophia, I thought you were talking about like the Mexican version of Alexa. I was like, did you see the Sophia Alexa? It's like, wait,
She's really feisty.
she's feisty and she can cook some real good Mexican food.
She can cook up some good carne asadas.
She has all the recipes.
I
That
would
stuff
like a
about the-
burrito supreme, please. No.
Oh no, no burrito for you.
Oh, here's them discussing the future
So-
of humanity.
Hey, I'm Hispanic. Come on.
Yeah, he's Hispanic. He can say
I'm
this
brown.
stuff.
So, yeah, I need to find this video ahead of time because this is 18 minutes long.
Joaquin, you need to do your job, okay? We can't be listening through 18 videos. I'm just kidding.
Oh
He's
my
been
God,
doing
it's
great so far.
Yeah, you have.
Like, this is definitely
I'm
the
just kidding.
Joaquin's show. He's taking away.
Mm.
You.
Einstein, the
Oh,
robot,
what?
Fuck.
like
Does it show it?
ripping apart my anus or anything.
Of
Here's
all
the
the
Milky Way.
people, of all the people, not Einstein, not like this.
Not like this. Yeah, I think we'll have to go through some more later on because these videos are long. You got to find the specific parts.
Oh, I see.
All right. Well, bits here. First things first, let's go and ask Joaquin, who grizzly old man over here.
I'm aging.
Tell us about the wonderful things that happen when you get old.
Okay, guys. This will see. I might be the only one going through this because, like I said, I'm old. I'm in my 40s now. Pee farts. Pee farts are a thing, guys. I don't know why, but when I go to the bathroom, I feel like a spry young gent, and I whip it out, standing at the urinal.
Is that how you do it?
Because I'm peeing over here. You know, I go to the urinal. I don't go to the toilet because I don't feel like anything's coming out the back end. So I'm usually I get the flow going, and it's pretty good. But about halfway through, I feel something back there, and like for whatever reason,
Good God.
I usually have to pause the flow.
That's never fun.
Bust some gas, and then I'm free to flow again.
Oh
And,
yeah, it blocks it.
That's a pee fart. Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
It's like,
there's the bubble blocks your.
but it's like my
Bladders.
anus invited itself to a party that it wasn't invited to, dude. Like I wasn't. This wasn't our agreement. I went to the bathroom with my penis in my hand, not that the backside wasn't supposed to be involved with this whole operation.
I think I have some like age advancement attributes to me because when I take a shit, it's like it's like a muddy dam breaking.
It's never consistent.
Yeah,
You don't get those good solid packed like
not often.
those youthful.
When I
Yeah,
when I
I
do,
get
it's
what you're
a good day.
saying.
No one's been packing
When
lately.
yeah, when you get one of the solid ones, you kind of feel proud, dude. You're like, yeah, I
It's
made that.
It's a very good day.
Yeah.
Sounds like you need to take metal mucil. It sounds like you have some incontinence problems coming up in the nearby future.
Zach, what's wrong with you?
Right now, I just got the wins, just the P wins.
Good God. Long gusty fella.
Sometimes my pee smells weird.
That's asparagus, though. That's all
But
that
yeah,
is.
I do like asparagus, so I will.
That might be contributing just a little bit.
Yeah, but no, it smells like.
Life's pretty good when all you got wrong with you is
Yeah,
smelly
I
piss.
guess these are like first world problems, aren't they?
Absolutely.
I'm like,
I mean,
fart.
as far as age me, it's just as well as I used to. That might be the fact that I'm fat and I smoke the ganj. So that's just too much. That's too much all at once going on. Don't do it if you're getting old.
I've never smoked it, but I thought you were going to say cigarettes for a second. I was
No,
like,
that's what I
I've
thought
never
too.
seen you smoke.
No, I'd die if I was smoking cigarettes.
we-
Absolutely.
We last night, dude, with the amount of smoking that was going on in
Yeah.
that place that we were at.
The bars here are bad.
Yes.
So, folks, that's some stuff to be afraid of. Artificial intelligence and getting old and being incontinent. If you guys liked our show here today, please like us on our Facebook page. Take a look at us on all the other stuff that I've been signing up for. Share us, please. We really need the patrons, the support. We need out there. This is you bastards.
You bastard.
Yes.
You bastards.
Have a good one, guys. Thank you.